independent, alternative, whatever you want to call it. To me, it's being an individual. And to me, I can't be anything else than an individual. It's always been a hard time for independent musicians. It's nothing new now. The recession really doesn't affect us because we've always been poor anyways.
Jesus, you started to believe the things they say of you. You really do believe this talk of God is true.
Geoff Marshall seems to be the independent jack of all trades these days. Not only was he involved in the things you just saw, but he's also the art director for this new alternative magazine that's just out called... It's got to be really difficult to ask for this on newsstands. Geoff Marshall is also the instigator behind a new mounting of the play Jesus Christ Superstar, with a bit of a twist this time, because the cast members of this play are made up of 15 independent bands that all happen in and around here in Toronto. Now, this has got to be quite a feat to organize, not only because of their schedules, but also because most of these bands come from very different musical attitudes. Jennifer Morton went to see this play, and it gave us a really good opportunity to expose you to some new talent.
Deep in trouble, friend. Someone Christ, King of the Jews. How can someone in your state be so cool about his fate? An amazing thing, this silent king.
It's a classic rock piece that we're doing, and it's a story about the individual spirit.
Well, I think that there's a lot of people that found that Jesus Christ Superstar was their kind of like Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show. I know I've said this before in interviews, but it's true. I mean, a lot of people, that was their first rock album. That's their first, you know, experience with rock and roll, and it touches a nerve.
Hang on, Lord, we're gonna fight for you. 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 Put away your swords, don't you know that it's all over?
When we were in the schoolyard, when we were, you know, 10 or 11 years old,
3?
Yeah, or whatever it was, listening to it, there was a big chant, a schoolyard chant. And the schoolyard chant was, Jesus Christ, Superstar, no one knew the rest. Exactly. But we always said, who in the hell do you think you are?
All the guys in the band approached it to try and maintain the integrity of the original, but still try and inject their own particular styles, their own particular approaches to music. And for me personally, that was a big part of the challenge of it. You know, just trying to keep my personality, but still play the songs.
Sweet love shall soothe you, calm you, and anoint you before your hot forehead. Oh, then you'll know everything's alright. Yes, everything's fine, and it's cool and the orphan's sweet. Wasson and and did I tell you?
Everyone brings something to it of their own experience, you know, their own style to, you know, make it a sort of...
Yeah, I think Geoff mostly wanted to put the rock back into the rock opera, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Very valid point.
Whereas when it was originally done, it was more from the stage, from the classical, with a touch of rock, you know. Somebody told me that collects a lot of records that actually they figured that Jesus Christ Superstar, when it first came out, killed rock. Just a theory.
What did you do about Jesus of Nazareth? Miracle, wonder man, hero of fools. Riots, no army, no fighting, no slogan. One thing I'll say for him, Jesus is cool.
We're used to getting up and doing our own thing, singing one song all the way through, but this I was like confronted with 2 lines and then a cue from another line, and I was quite nervous for the first few practices, for sure. I didn't think I'd be able to pull it off. I had done no theater. So yeah, it was a challenge.
have to be able to perform and then not be overbearing. Like Pilot, I mean, he was overbearing, but he had to be overbearing.
That's the way you get along in life.
But that's why he was chosen for the role, so he was well cast.
And it's so heavy. It's so heavy after screaming for 6 or 7 years in a band to finally say, "Oh my God, I have to sing," and then to go through this whole self-rationalization process where you try and say, "Oh, can I sing?" and then to reach down inside yourself and find out that yes, you can sing reasonably well.
I dreamed I met a Galilean, a most amazing man. He had that look you very rarely find, the haunted kind.
I've always gone to see as many independent bands as I could. I've always preferred that to going to concerts of out-of-town bands. I've always tried to support the independent scene.
I will drink your cup of poison, nail me to your cross and break me, beat me, kill me, take me now, before I change my mind.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's edition of the New Music. But next week, be here because we're going to take a look at the debut album from Jeffrey Gaines.